He gave her his heart and soul, and she literally took his heart, lungs, and yeah, even his crown jewels. When Wang Ming woke up, he was lying on a cold operating table in some sketchy room. An odd emptiness washed over him, physically and emotionally. At first, he thought it was just exhaustion, until he spotted a bloody scalpel lying right next to him. That's when it hit him. Oh hell no, they really did cut him open. Yep, the man got kidney napped. He scrambled to grab his phone, ready to call the cops and reclaim his dignity. But the moment he tried to move, his legs gave out, and down he went. As he hit the floor, the last thing he remembered before blacking out was that it wasn't just his kidneys. They'd cleaned him out completely. Wang Ming couldn't figure it out. How was he still alive after being gutted like a fish? He finally got his hands on a phone, only to find it could run one app, a game called World of Desire. Dizzy and disoriented, he thought he saw his great-grandma waving at him from the afterlife. With nothing left to lose, he tapped the app. Desperate times, desperate clicks. And bam, like some cursed download, it actually worked. The next moment, he was no longer in that dingy room, but inside the game itself. He looked down. Good news, he was alive. Bad news? He had absolutely nothing left. Not even a pair of boxers. Just then, a city bus pulled up with a screech. The doors opened, and out stepped a woman in sheer black stockings. Curves so deadly, they should come with a warning label. But then he saw her face and nearly screamed. That seductive aura? Gone. Replaced by pure nightmare fuel. Wang Ming sighed and muttered, "Okay, guess she's just a stocking lady now." The woman stared him down, eyes sharp enough to peel skin. But he didn't flinch, not even a little. I mean, come on. His organs were already gone. What more could he lose? He stared right back and said, "Can you even kill someone who's already dead?" Weirdly, that thought made his hollow chest feel even roomier. Then the woman raised a hand and gestured coldly, "Get on." Wang Ming hesitated, then figured, might as well see where this freak show's headed. But then Wang Ming got cheeky and said, No, say, "Master, please board the bus." The woman just blinked, totally confused, like, what kind of nonsense is this? Wang Ming doubled down, even striking a dramatic pose. He was 1 second away from flexing his completely organless body. Even a nearby street lamp flickered, as if cringing in secondhand embarrassment. Suddenly, cracks began crawling across the woman's face, blood oozing out like a horror movie close-up. Then she let out a guttural shriek, "Get on the bus!" But Wang Ming just smirked. "Sweetheart, I'm already dead inside. You think that scares me?" Then, slap, he straight up smacked her across the face. The hit sent her spinning like a ballerina having a breakdown. Wang Ming flicked his hair and declared, "Now, try again. Say, 'Master, please board the bus.'" The woman trembled, jaw clenched so tight you could hear it grind. But she swallowed her pride and hissed through her teeth, "Master, please board the bus." Satisfied, Wang Ming gave a smug nod and strutted onto the bus like he owned the world. The moment he stepped onto the bus, his tattered rags magically transformed into a crisp suit straight off a magazine cover. And with that, the gears of fate quietly began to turn. The bus was already packed, but every passenger looked like they were stuck in a trance, blank stares, hollow eyes. Wang Ming, naturally, plopped himself down next to a gorgeous woman. Even now, he couldn't help but flirt. "Hey beauty, your soul wander off? Want me to help bring it back?" Before she could answer, the stocking lady stepped aboard. In a monotone voice, she declared, "Welcome to the world of desire. Listen closely to the whispers of the divine. The gods have spoken. Your trials begin now." Wang Ming rolled his eyes and muttered under his breath, "Okay, chill. She's just a glorified fortune teller in fishnets." Meanwhile, in the real world, inside an abandoned factory, a man in a blood-stained lab coat stepped out, carrying a heavy-looking metal case. Waiting outside was a sleek red sports car and a drop-dead, gorgeous woman. "All harvested," the man said, placing the box down. "Everything's intact. You can count on me." The woman licked her lips and smirked. "You did great." The doctor smiled awkwardly. "So, about my payment." Click. A gun was suddenly pressed against his forehead. Bang! She pulled the trigger, whispering, "Next time, don't do such a perfect job." His brains hit the pavement before he even realized what was happening. The woman gently lifted the still warm heart from the box. And then she licked it, eyes wide with ecstasy. I can hear the whispers of God. Back on the bus, the stocking woman finally began explaining the game. The first challenge is called Abandonment. In 10 minutes, this bus will reach an old bridge. It's unstable, too weak to carry everyone. If no action is taken, the entire thing collapses and you all die. But if just one person gets off the bus, the rest will survive. You may vote, or simply force someone off. Your call. Only those who complete all trials will have their desires granted by the gods. Now then, 9 minutes remain. A man in the back raised a trembling hand. What happens to the one who gets off? She smiled sweetly. Oh, that one dies. Obviously, panic exploded through the bus like wildfire. Screams, sobs, chaos. But Wang Ming? He just stared out the window and muttered, "Death's not that scary. What is scary is that I never wipe my phone. Wait, am I even alive right now, or what?" Suddenly, a pregnant woman on the bus burst into tears. "Please, don't choose me. My baby hasn't even been born yet. I can't die. I have cancer." Another man chimed in. "I'm still in treatment. I deserve a chance to live." "My son's in the ICU," someone else shouted. "He needs me to survive." In an instant, the bus turned into a tragedy Olympics, everyone shouting over each other, desperate to prove why they deserved to stay. Wang Ming just blinked, stunned. "Damn, y'all got some hardcore backstories. Compared to this, my missing kidneys don't even make the cut." Then a calm, suited middle-aged man stood up and spoke with chilling logic. "Let's be rational. The one who burdens the group the most should go first," which, in this case, is the pregnant woman. The woman froze, her face pale with shock. She cried out, trembling, "How could you say that? Are you even human?" The man scoffed. "You used your pregnancy to guilt us into dying for you. Isn't that cruel?" Shockingly, the crowd began to nod in agreement one by one. They joined in, surrounding the woman, chanting it was for the greater good. In the end, the pregnant woman was dragged to the front, screaming, her pleas drowned out by a mob trying to sound righteous. At that moment, the stocking woman finally smirked, like a villain whose trap had just sprung shut. Wang Ming narrowed his eyes. That expression, something wasn't right. Just as the pregnant woman was about to be thrown off, Wang Ming stepped in and yanked her back, calm as ever. "You know, your logic was flawed from the start. Sure, she said someone had to get off the bus so we could cross the bridge. But she never said it had to be one of us, did she?" He slowly pointed straight at the stocking woman. Her expression shattered. For the first time, she looked scared. "You fools," she screamed. "There's less than 1 minute left. If you don't throw him out now, you'll all die." But the more she panicked, the more certain Wang Ming became. "Nah," he said with a smirk. "Let's throw her out. Saves lives, save drama, so. Who's in favor?" The whole bus raised their hands like it was a no-brainer. Every eye locked on her, and she didn't dare make a move. As the stocking woman trembled with rage, Wang Ming gave a dramatic wave and grinned. "Your Highness, your ride ends here. Please step off the bus." "You can't make me," she snarled. Wang Ming shrugged. "Girl, I slapped you when you got on, and you didn't even flinch. Pretty sure there's a rule stopping you from hitting passengers." That was his hunch. She was bound by system restrictions. Her face twisted. Bingo. With a furious scream, she lunged at him. But Wang Ming casually caught her with one hand and snorted, "Please, trash like you're riding my bus." And with that, he kicked her clean off. GTFO. A bloody mark appeared across the bus window. Clear as day. Challenge complete. Cheers erupted. But no one noticed the strange paper talisman that suddenly appeared in Wang Ming's hand. He blinked. "Wait, did I just loot a drop?" A voice echoed in his mind. "Young one, board the path. Wield the demon's blade." Wang Ming clutched his head. Is that even a legit item? Weird. Absolutely. But it did look like some kind of summoning gear. He casually stuffed it in his pocket. Whatever that I've lived cautiously my whole life, this must be karma. I deserve this loot. No guilt whatsoever. Suddenly, the bus screeched to a halt, jolting everyone inside. Wang Ming narrowed his eyes. Yep, time for the next game. The vehicle had stopped in front of an old, rotting building. Faded red paint peeled from a sign that read, Crimson Nursing Home. Without hesitation, Wang Ming was the first to step off. Just behind him, the pregnant woman gasped. At her feet lay a broken doll. Its cracked face grinned wide, one glass eye missing, the other leaking something dark and sticky. Meanwhile, in the real world, a woman sat before her vanity, staring into the mirror. Her reflection was twisted, monstrous. She clutched her head and screamed, Why? What happened to me? This isn't me. I was supposed to go back. I was supposed to be beautiful again. Then she froze, her face contorted with hatred. It's her fault. She's the reason she has to die. Cut back to the world of desire. The pregnant woman shrieked at the sight of the creepy rag doll on the ground. Wang Ming rolled his eyes and punted it down the hall. Relax. It's just a doll, probably. One by one, the rest of the group stepped off the bus, faces tense. And right on cue, the bus pulled away, disappearing into the fog like it was never there. They approached the entrance of the Crimson Nursing Home, the scent of blood thick in the air. Then came the sound of sharp heels. Click, clacked out a pair of crimson stilettos appeared in the hallway. A woman in a white coat emerged, wearing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Welcome, she said sweetly. You must be our volunteers. Without waiting for a reply, she turned and walked deeper into the building. Follow me. One of the girls, shaking with fear, clung to Wang Ming's arm. Something's wrong with this place. I can feel it. No kidding. Severed arms and legs were scattered in the halls, and every room leaked whispers, sobs, and things they couldn't explain. Suddenly, the director stopped. Each of you will be assigned 3 rooms, she said. Instructions from the families are posted by each door. Follow them exactly, or suffer the consequences. Kitchen and bathrooms are down the far right hallway. Don't get lost. With that, she pulled out a thick stack of cards and flung them into the air. Go. They've been waiting. Just as she was about to disappear, she paused. Slowly turning back, she whispered, Oh, and one more thing. After dark, stay in your rooms, and don't sleep too deeply. Wang Ming's next task. Deliver dinner to the resident of room 203. The card on the door had one chilling note. Must be served rare, 10 out of 10. Not a single drop of blood missing. He raised an eyebrow and headed toward the kitchen. As he walked, dried blood trailed along the hallway like a map of past horrors. He could feel it in his gut. Mess this up, and it wouldn't just be the food getting sliced. In the kitchen, the others were already hard at work, preparing meals for whoever was waiting. Wang Ming scanned the card again and started prepping the meat. Bloody, seared just enough, no charring, no shortcuts. That's when a voice caught his ear. The man they called Brother Liu had started talking. Apparently, this wasn't Liu's first ride through the world of desire. But every game was different. No recycled levels, no cheat sheets. One thing I can tell you, Liu said darkly. Never, ever try to bring the dead back. Because the dead stay dead. And if something comes back, are you really sure it's them? A younger guy turned pale. Wait, you mean the thing that comes back is a ghost? Liu looked down. I don't know what it is, but it's not human. He added, only those near death or whose desires have completely consumed them end up in this place. Most of the others just rolled their eyes, unwilling to listen. But his final words silenced the room. When desire takes over, sometimes death is mercy. Meanwhile, Wang Ming had just finished plating the steak, perfectly rare, juicy, glistening. He knocked on the door to room 203 for what felt like forever. No answer. So he pushed it open. Inside, an emaciated old man sat silently on the bed, hunched, unmoving. The man leaned forward, sniffed the steak a couple times, then immediately began tearing into it like a starving beast. Wang Ming smirked. Huh, easiest task ever. Guess I am lucky. That's when the old man lunged. His hand shot forward. straight into Wang Ming's chest. Face twisted with rage, he howled, "Tastes like garbage. Disgusting." Wang Ming nearly dropped dead. Again, "Bro, just say it's nasty. I'll make you some damn pig intestines or whatever. Why's your first instinct to rip out my heart? Where's your manners?" The old man kept rummaging around inside him, only to realize there was nothing in there. Enraged, he started stabbing Wang Ming's chest like he was trying to unclog a toilet. "What the hell I asked this guy?" the old man thought in horror. Wang Ming, on the other hand, had had enough. Alive or dead, everyone just wants a piece of me, huh? He yanked out the talisman he'd stashed earlier, eyes gleaming. "You think I'm some Hello Kitty plushie? Buddy, I'm a freaking apex predator." A crimson aura burst from his body. Wang Ming, bathed in bloodlight, looked like the Reaper himself just clocked in. "Oh, so now you're picky and ripping out hearts." Wang Ming roared and slapped the old man straight into the floorboards. Without missing a beat, he grabbed the guy's head and slammed it down like he was dunking a cursed basketball. "I made that steak just the way you like it, you undead food critic." Wham! Wham! Thought I was all sass and no bite? Nah, I'm petty and violent. The poor old man could only scream, "Ah, ah." Wang Ming rolled his eyes. "Speak human, damn it. I don't speak ghost gibberish." Just then, the door creaked open. The pregnant woman from earlier peeked in. Her eyes widened in pure terror. The room was soaked in red, like a blender full of raw meat had exploded across the walls. She let out a tiny eep. Then her eyes rolled back and thud. She hit the floor like a sack of potatoes. Meanwhile, inside Wang Ming's head, voices. Dark, seductive, growling voices. "Kill him. Crush his head. Do it." Even Wang Ming, usually chill, usually smug, felt his pulse spiked at a real urge to reduce the old man's skull to pudding. All the while, the old geezer could only stammer. Just as Wang Ming raised his hand for the final, skull-crushing blow, poof, the red demonic aura around him vanished. Wait, what? Only 3 minutes? What kind of budget rage mode is this? He frantically pulled out the ghost ticket again, hoping to re-trigger the buff. A system prompt blinked in his mind, frowny face, evil spirit ticket on cooldown. Next use available in 3 hours. 3 what? Bro, you got a cooldown timer. What is this, a gotcha game? Stripped of his power, Wang Ming immediately dropped the tough guy act. Sir, look, earlier was just a bit of method acting, you know? Totally a misunderstanding." Surprisingly, the old man just nodded obediently. Wang Ming blinked. "Wait, did I actually scare him that bad?" Grinning, he pushed the plate forward. "So, you gonna eat now, or nah?" The old guy nodded again and started munching away like nothing happened. Wang Ming exhaled slowly. His brain finally rebooted. That ghost ticket, yeah, it boosted his strength, but it also messed with his head. No way, I'd usually want to pulp some random old man's skull. This thing's powerful, too powerful that it's my trump card now, and I better keep it secret. Just as Wang Ming finished dragging the unconscious pregnant woman into the room, her eyes suddenly snapped open, wild with fear. Wang Ming opened his mouth to explain, "Listen, this isn't what it looks like." "Help!" she screamed at the top of her lungs. "Oh, come on." Wang Ming groaned, slapping a hand over her mouth. Then, with full straight-faced BS mode, "Sure. Okay, fine. I'll come clean that I'm with a special department. Top secret. Classified that you've already seen too much. For your own safety, you need to forget everything." He leaned in. "But hey, I'm a good guy. Trust me, okay? Just keep this quiet." To his utter shock, she nodded. She believed him. Turns out she had come to him for help. Wang Ming sighed and said, "Sure, I'll help as much as I can. But let's be clear, no guarantees, and I'm definitely not dying for anyone." An hour passed in a blur of panic and pain. Back in the main hall, survivors began sharing their horrifying stories. "All I did was clean a room, and something bit my ear OFF. I tried massaging an old man's back, but his whole spine was rotting. My hand slipped into his ribs. But the worst had to be Lou. Mr. Bin here before himself thought he was now down a whole leg." Just then, the director returned. calmly wiping blood off her white coat with a soaked towel. "What are you all doing here?" she snapped. "Tasks done already?" The group shouted over each other. "These tasks are impossible. They're traps. It's suicide." The director smirked, licking her lips. "Oh, that's fine. You may not be good workers, but you do smell delicious." Her gaze shifted to Wang Ming and the pregnant woman, strolling in fashionably late. Without missing a beat, Wang Ming threw on his best suck-up grin. "Director, you caught me. I was just admiring your beauty. Got so dazzled I lost track off time. But don't worry, I'm here now." The pregnant woman blinked at him, speechless. Is this guy really from the government?" Hearing Wang Ming's ridiculous flattery, the director slowly walked over and patted his shoulder. Then she leaned in close, whispering right into his ear, "Tonight, I want you alone." Wang Ming's smile froze. Wait, what? He was just talking crap like always. Was this woman serious? Did I just trigger a secret side quest? After she left, everyone finally realized Wang Ming had actually completed his task. Instantly, the mob closed in. "How'd you do it? Tell us your strategy. We're all human. Aren't we supposed to help each other? We're on the same damn sinking ship. Don't be selfish." Lu, ever the opportunist, stepped in, stirring the pot and pushing Wang Ming into the spotlight. Surrounded by voices and accusations, Wang Ming finally exploded. "Shut up. You know what I hate more than monsters? Moral guilt trips." He grabbed the pregnant woman's hand and stormed off. "Wait," Lu called out. Desperate to pry information from Wang Ming, he offered up a trade. "I'll tell you what happened to me the last time I entered the world of desire. And trust me, this info could help you all reach your wish." Lighting a cigarette, Lu exhaled slowly. "That game was when I saw the truth behind this world." Lu's full name was Lu Changgue, just an ordinary guy who fell into a bottomless gambling hole. He owed so much money that debt collectors were beating him within an inch of his life. It was during one of those brutal days that he first entered the world of desire. He completed a challenge and made a simple wish, 1 million in cash. And when he woke up back in reality, he got it. But the cost? His father had fallen from a construction site, crashed into the pavement. Vegetative state. The compensation from the accident? Exactly 1 million that his wish had been granted, and it had destroyed him. "It was my fault," Lu whispered. "It was my desire that ruined my father." Wang Ming stood there silent, but his mind was racing that the wish isn't magic, that it's not handed to you, that it's restructured from your life in the most logical, brutal way possible. If I want my stolen organs back, what if I get them, but they're already rotted? Or worse, what if the only way to reclaim them is from someone else who's already using them? He clenches fists. Whatever happens, I have to outsmart this world before it screws me too. Lu looked up again, desperate. "Please, help me. I only made it through one room, and I've already lost a leg. I can't do this alone." Wang Ming sighed. Truth was, even he wasn't sure if beating the old man had worked or just bought him time. Telling them that trick might get them all killed faster. "I swear," he said, "there's no hidden system. I just got lucky." With that, he grabbed the pregnant woman's hand again and walked away without looking back. But just as he turned to leave, Wang Ming changed his mind that he decided to go back and question the old man. Maybe get some real answers. When he returned to the room, the old man was still cowering in the corner, visibly traumatized. The pregnant woman glanced at him and asked, "Aren't you supposed to be with the authorities? Why didn't you help those people back there?" Wang Ming blinked. He hadn't expected her to defend the same group that had tried to throw her off the bus. But she simply said, "If it had to be someone, maybe I would have done the same. Everyone here has something they have to fight for." She revealed her husband was a firefighter. He died recently during a rescue mission. Now, all she had left was the unborn child in her womb. The doctors had warned her. The baby had congenital defects, no chance of survival, but she refused to give up. "If I finish the challenge, maybe I can still save my child." Wang Ming stood frozen. This kid was the legacy of a hero. He took a deep breath, then turned back to the old man. "All right, spill it. Why the hell were you trying to dig through my chest?" The old man could only mumble and whimper until he shakily scribbled a note. "I don't like well-done meat." Wang Ming blinked in shock. Wait, the card outside the room said "well done" was his favorite. But that info came from his children. Wang Ming's face darkened. He clenched his fists. Of course, this whole thing's a damn setup. From all this chaos, Wang Ming managed to piece together a clue, though even he wasn't sure if it was legit. The pregnant woman, however, nodded without hesitation. If it weren't for you, I'd be dead already. I'll take the risk. So Wang Ming told her, look, I think the info outside the rooms, those notes from their kids, they're probably wrong on purpose. Maybe try doing the opposite. She agreed and decided to give it a shot. Still, Wang Ming had a sinking feeling in his gut. Even if she makes it, will the kid really survive? Will he even be normal? But before he could think too much, a different problem hit him like a brick. Tonight, the director was supposed to see him alone. And yeah, she had the curves, but bro, she's not human. 2 hours later, Wang Ming lay on his bed, pretending to be asleep, hoping she'd forget. She didn't. There she was, at his door. What are you staring at? She said coolly. Come with me, sweetheart. Wang Ming's brain went into crisis mode. Ticket cooldown just ended, but this ain't some frail old man that she's a whole damn raid boss. Do I fight her? Or do I get, fought? Philosophically speaking, both options suck. Okay. Time for some grade A deflection. But he pulled open his shirt dramatically. Director, I'd love to go, but alas, I'm a man without his engines to why twin V12s were stolen. Both of them. Gone. The director sneered. Useless. The volunteer from room 401 and that old coot have gone missing to go find them. Then you can sleep. Wang Ming pouted. Do I really gotta? I thought you said never go out after dark. I grew up, what did you say? I grew up loving search and rescue. Yep, big passion of mine. The director smiled. Good. Find them, and I'll make it worth your while. Wang Ming grinned like a fool. The reward doesn't matter. I just want to ease your burden. Wang Ming suddenly remembered. The volunteer from room 401. Wasn't that the busted chick who sat next to him on the bus? He hadn't seen her in the hall either. Was the director asking him to find her or collect what's left? Either way, orders were orders. So he bolted out, muttering nonsense like a mad monk. All martial arts are based on speed. Lim Bing Duja. Formation. Taishang Lao Jun. Make it snappy. Amen. But as he sprinted down the hallway, something fell off. His own footsteps were way too loud. Was he attracting something? When he reached the 4th floor, a chill ran down his spine. Wait a sec. I'm wearing sneakers. Where's that clacking coming from? High heels. That sound had been following him since the 2nd floor. Then, a shadow appeared behind him, and a voice brushed his ear. Finally caught you. Wang Ming gulped. I don't even have any organs left. Why would a ghost bother? But the next moment, he felt a slimy tongue dragging across his cheek. 1.2.3 licks. Nope. Screw that. He broke into a run. But the ghost was glued to him, like cling wrap from hell. Then he felt a hand, an icy, dead grip wrapping around his shoulder. All right, he growled. No more playing. Time to unleash my big boy. He went for his evil spirit ticket. But nothing moved. He was paralyzed. Looking down, he saw her hand, clutching his arm tightly. Then her head slowly floated into view. Her voice was syrupy and slow. What was it you said earlier? Don't rush. I'm almost put back together. Screw that. Wang Ming bolted like a rabbit on fire. I said my hands numb, not my legs. He shot down the hallway like a rocket, leaving the ghost in his dust. The icy hand on his shoulder slowly faded away into mist. Finally slowing down, Wang Ming turned to look and saw it. The ghost girl was in pieces. Wait a sec. When I hit the 3rd floor, it was just footsteps. On the 4th, she suddenly had a tongue and a hand. The horrifying truth hit him like a bucket of cold water. Her body was scattered across the building. She wasn't asking me to wait out of courtesy. She meant it literally. She was putting herself back together. And if I had waited long enough, I'd be the final piece. Clutching his chest, Wang Ming gasped. Damn, that was close. I almost died of a heart atta. He froze, looked down at his hand on his chest. Right, that no heart forgot. Wang Ming noticed something odd. The third floor was cleaned up in blood, no guts. Compared to the second and fourth floors, it was practically cozy. Soon, he found room 401. The note taped to the door read, "Elderly patient has dementia. Loves playing hide and seek. Always hides behind the curtain. But be warned, playing with him is very dangerous. Do not engage." Wang Ming nodded confidently, which means the right move is to play along. Reverse logic. That's the trick. He opened the door and froze. There were no curtains anywhere. Just as he was scratching his head in confusion, a sudden stampede echoed from the hallway. Boom, boom. Two massive objects rushed toward him. It was the busted volunteer, the one from earlier. She launched herself straight into Wang Ming's arms, trembling with fear. "Hey, what happened? Where's the old man you were assigned to?" Her voice cracked. I was playing hide and seek with him like the notes said. And then Wang Ming's expression changed. No, my deduction was wrong. His mind instantly jumped to someone else. The pregnant woman. Damn it. What if she's in danger too? He grabbed the girl's shoulders. What exactly happened? Tell me. The busted girl finally spoke, voice trembling. The first time we played, it was easy that I found the old man hiding behind the curtain right away. But he said again, "Let's play again." So I did. Found him again. But this time, there were two people behind the curtain. Third round, 3.it kept multiplying. One more person each time. Now, there's no room left behind the curtain. Wang Ming sprinted over, yanked the curtain open, and nearly fainted. A whole lineup of old men stood silently in a row, like ghosts waiting to be called up. The girl screamed and leapt into his arms, clutching him like a lifeline. "Babe, I'm your girlfriend now. Okay, you came to find me, so you obviously like me. You're my boyfriend now. You have to protect me." Wang Ming blinked, stunned. Wait, what? "I came here 'cause the director told me to. This ain't a date." But just as he turned around, wham! The girl shoved him straight toward the ghost lineup. "If you're my boyfriend, then you're supposed to die first." Then she bolted, running like hell without a single glance back. Wang Ming stumbled, caught his balance, and gave a bitter laugh. Wow. Even a pregnant woman had the guts to test her own task. But you? You'd rather push someone else in to die for you. He stared at the emotionless crowd of ghosts, then sighed. Just as I thought. Women only slowed down my blade. He reached into his pocket, pulled out the evil spirit ticket. "Let's do this." Wang Ming yanked open the curtain and smirked. "Surprise, mother." Then paused. A whole army of hippo-headed, human-bodied freaks stood there, grinning like demons. Their grotesque faces twisted into unnatural grins, tusks jutting out, their bulging eyes locked onto him. One stepped forward. "You found us. Now it's our turn to find you." "Oh, hell no," Wang Ming snapped. "You guys only know how to sneak up on people?" He cracked his knuckles. Evil armor mode. Engage. "I'm punching 10 today." In a flash of blood-red light, his body was covered in spectral armor. Wang Ming laughed like a maniac. "Damn, I feel insanely strong right now." With a casual punch, one hippo freak exploded like a watermelon. Dozens more charged forward like a stampede. Wang Ming just turned and swatted through them like bowling pins. But then, out of nowhere, a hand burst straight through his chest. Oh, a sneak attack. He didn't even flinch. Let me tell you something, the one thing I hate the most right now, is being gutted. He reached up, grabbed the ghostly arm sticking through his body, and tore it off like peeling a bandage. Looking down at his torn armor, he snarled, "You ripped my stitching. You're all dead." That was it. Wang Ming went full rage mode. Moments later, the room was a blood-soaked slaughterhouse. Wang Ming stood in the center, panting, dripping with sweat and gore. Every single hippo monster was down for the count. Total KO. Behind him, the spectral armor flickered, then vanished. The evil spirit ticket had expired. 3 minutes, Wang Ming muttered. Made it just in time. Cleared the board like a damn legend. But what he didn't expect, the monsters' bodies began to twitch, then regenerate. Fast. Seconds later, full HP. All of them. Wang Ming's jaw dropped. Hello. This is cheating. I want to report a bug. Without his gear boost, Wang Ming immediately changed tone. Hey fellas, let's not be hasty now, all right? Look at that moon. So romantic, huh? Maybe we chill out and enjoy the night vibes? Mid-babble, something clicked. The bloodthirsty state. It started after the red moon appeared. Then he remembered what the director said. Don't leave your room after dark. And don't sleep too deeply. That wasn't a warning. It was bait. The real danger wasn't in the monsters. It was in that creepy moonlight. None of these rooms had curtains, which meant anyone locked inside would be exposed to the blood moon and turn into a psycho. Wang Ming clenched his fists. That old witch, she fed us to these monsters on purpose. With a swift move, Wang Ming leapt off a hippo monster's head and soared through the air. Mid-flight, he grabbed the curtain and yanked it shut, blocking out the blood-red moonlight. Instantly, the monsters froze in place, all rage evaporating in a second. Within moments, their twisted bodies began to dissolve into thin air, vanishing like dust. All that remained was a kindly old man, sitting on the bed, blinking with a dazed expression. Crisis officially defused. Wang Ming walked over, knelt beside him, and smiled. Hey now, it's way past bedtime. Let's save hide and seek for tomorrow, okay? Just in case the blood moon hit again. He ripped off the bedsheet and wrapped the old guy up like a cozy little dumpling. Mission complete. He'd found the lost patient. The director would be pleased, but that creepy red moon was still glowing outside. So Wang Ming made the smart call. Time to chill here till my cooldown's up. No need to get murdered again tonight. Suddenly, a face popped up at the window. It was none other than the busted girl who'd shoved Wang Ming toward the monsters earlier. She was crawling, bloodied and panicked, screaming, "Help me! I see you, you bastard! You're my boyfriend, remember? Come save me!" But before she could reach him, a massive pale hand shot out of the dark and yanked her backward. Wang Ming stood completely still, watching the scene like a movie. "Look," he muttered, "I'd love to help, but my summoning ticket's still on cooldown. Hands are tied." He shrugged. "And besides, you were the one who chose to run alone, right?" 3 hours later, his gear finally recharged. Wang Ming geared up and headed out. But what he saw next made his heart skip. The hallway was empty, except for a pool of blood. The girl was gone. He winced. Don't tell me that freaky hallway ghost used her body parts to finish building herself. Slowly backing away, Wang Ming waved his hands. "Nope, not my problem. Never saw it. Didn't hear nothing. I'm out of here." Soon, Wang Ming returned to room 203, his assigned patient. Just like before, he asked, "What would you like to eat tomorrow?" The old man scribbled on a piece of paper, "Raw meat." Wang Ming frowned. "You actually like eating that stuff?" The old man shook his head slowly. "No, I don't like it. My son does." Only then did Wang Ming understand. Every meal, the old man ate just a little, saving the rest for a son who never showed up. "But it's all rotten now," Wang Ming said quietly. The old man just smiled. "I never know what day he might come back." Silence fell. A heavy silence. This wasn't just a task. This was a tomb, carved from memory and love. Day after day, the meat spoiled. The love soured. Hope decayed into obsession, and obsession into something monstrous. Wang Ming looked up at the flickering light and muttered, "So this is the world of desire." The next morning, everyone who was still alive was called together by the director. The crowd was noticeably smaller than the night before. Clearly, some hadn't survived their tasks. Wang Ming scanned the crowd. When he spotted the pregnant woman, he finally relaxed. She hurried over and whispered, "Thank you for that clue yesterday that I wouldn't be here without it." Then she hesitated. "Since it worked, do you think we could share it with the others?" Wang Ming gave her a confident nod. "Sure. No harm in more people staying alive." Suddenly, the sound of heels echoed through the hallway. The director had arrived. Her eyes were cold as ever. She didn't say a word, just waved her hand and tossed today's mission cards into the air. Then she licked her lips and said, "Wang Ming, step forward." She tossed him a package. "For the 401 job. Consider it your reward." Wang Ming grinned, all greasy charm. "It's an honor to ease your burden, ma'am." Truly. His hands, however, snatched the package like a seasoned looter. But just then, the director hooked her arm around Wang Ming's neck and leaned in. Oh, really? Then, I'll see you again tonight. Wang Ming looked skyward on the verge of tears. Oh, merciless heavens. Why must you bully me like this? After she left, Wang Ming hurriedly opened the package. Inside was a thick stack of strange-looking bills. Lu Zhonggue peeked over and gasped. Dude, that's Wish currency. It's the real deal. They use it here like money. I saw players fighting over it last round. Wang Ming squinted at the creepy runes printed on it. Why does it look like funeral money, yet called Wish currency? Still, he pocketed it like a true survivor. Lu warned, don't underestimate I in my last trial. 3 players killed each other over just 10 of those. He eyed Wang Ming suspiciously. But seriously, what did you do last night to get a payout from her? Wang Ming shrugged innocently. Just returned the missing guy from room 401. Found the volunteer too. That set the crowd off. They were sure Wang Ming had discovered some hidden trick. Lu jumped in again. I already shared some info yesterday, but I've got more. I'll trade you for your clue. Wang Ming raised an eyebrow. Oh, so you've been holding out on me, huh? Spill it. Lu leaned in. I think we're all from the same place. Linhai City. I suspect this world pulls in players based on where they live. Others started to nod. Yeah, they were all from that area. Couldn't be a coincidence. The logic checked out. That's when the real bidding war began. Lu offered 100K if Wang Ming gave him the real clue. Others shouted, 30K, 50K. Internally, Wang Ming was ecstatic that he was going to give the info away anyway. But hey, free money's free money. Outwardly, he coughed smugly and raised his chin. Well, since you're all so sincere about it, I guess I'll be generous and share the truth behind last night. After sharing his clue with the others, Wang Ming made his way to his next task, today's mission, clean a room. Simple enough. The note on the door read, my mother has dementia. She forgets things, sometimes even how to use the bathroom. She's aggressive, but never harmful. Volunteers, don't be scared. Wang Ming squinted, Sounds manageable. He opened the door, no one inside. Suddenly, a shadow loomed behind him. An old woman lunged from the darkness, mouth wide open. Her hands locked around Wang Ming's neck. Where's my daughter? Give her back. I want my daughter. Struggling for air, Wang Ming panicked. She was way stronger than she looked. Just as he was about to pull out his ghost ticket, a thought hit him. She forgets how to pee. So, what does she still remember? He instantly flipped the switch. Mom, it's me, your daughter. It's Xiaofang. The old woman paused mid-choke. Xiaofang? Wang Ming added a trembling voice. Yeah, Mom. You don't recognize me anymore? Nonsense, she said softly. How can I not recognize my sweet Xiaofang? But then she gave him a skeptical look. I remember your chest being bigger. Wang Ming kept a straight face. Oh, Mom, you're so out of touch. Flat is the new fashion. It's sustainable, stylish, and a symbol of world peace. Only creeps like big boobs. The old woman slowly returned to a more human form. Wang Ming gently guided her back into the room. Oh, sweet daughter. It's all my fault, she said tearfully. I thought you were one of the caretakers from the home. That made Wang Ming pause. Caretakers? Wait, weren't they all supposed to be caretakers in this place? He probed. What about them? They seemed all right to me. The woman's face suddenly twisted with rage. You poor child. You've been fooled. Those caretakers? They hit us, starve us, and worst of all, they inject some of the elders in. Oh, one who gets the injection survives. A chill ran down Wang Ming's spine. In the eyes of these elders, they were the monsters. As he calmed the old woman and helped her sit, he realized this might be a vital clue, a thread to the truth behind this nightmare. After calming the old woman, the headmistress arrived, right on cue. Without a smile, she handed Wang Ming a new task. A shipment just came in. Take it to the 5th floor. Then she leaned in and whispered, no matter what happens, do not open the boxes. As she walked away, Wang Ming scratched his head. Wait, wasn't she all over me last night? Now she's cold as ice? This isn't like her at all. But the headmistress herself looked deeply unsettled. She couldn't figure it out. What were these so-called caretakers up to tonight? No chaos, no screams, no deaths. Not a single soul had died. Wang Ming soon arrived at the front gate to pick up the delivery. True to form, he turned on the charm. Yo, bro, you look new. You don't work at the home, right? What do you do? The driver stared at him like he was an idiot. Seriously? Truck? Uniform? Crates? Take a wild guess. As the driver tried to leave, Wang Ming blocked him. Wait up, bro. I just wanted to ask, what's in the crates? No way he'd let the guy slip away empty-handed. Come on, man. Chill for a sec. Smoke a cig with me. The driver reached for a smoke, but Wang Ming pointed at his shirt pocket. You've already got one. Don't be shy. Share the wealth. The driver's face twitched. You serious right now? Without skipping a beat, Wang Ming flicked a wish token right at his face. Instant transformation. The guy's eyes lit up like Christmas. Why didn't you say you were a baller? Wang Ming smirked. Guess the saying's true. Money really can make ghosts do the grinding. The driver chuckled and handed him a fancy cigarette. Here you go, boss. Before Wang Ming could ask again, the driver already spilled the beans. You're wondering about the crates, huh? Just some sedatives. Some meds. He took a drag and added, you know, some of the old folks don't behave. One shot of this stuff, and boom, they go quiet real fast. Wang Ming's smile froze. Sedatives? The same kind the old lady mentioned. They were lethal, and now the headmistress wanted him to move the boxes. Was she planning to turn them into killers? Just as Wang Ming was still thinking, the driver casually added, you know, doing deliveries this late? Aren't you afraid of that thing? He shuddered mid-sentence. Forget it. I shouldn't talk. That's classified stuff. Flick. 2 wish tokens landed in the guy's hand. Sorry, Wang Ming said coolly. What was that? Didn't quite hear you. The driver was nearly in tears. Bro, you're my real brother now. I'll spill everything. Turns out, years ago, there was a sweet girl who gave up her future to care for her sick mom. She became a caretaker here, just to stay close. Everything was fine. Until one day, her mom suddenly went missing. When they finally found her, the body had been chopped up and stuffed into trash cans. On every floor that IT was horrifying. The girl lost her mind, and days later, jumped from the rooftop. That's when it hit Wang Ming. The ghost in the stairwell was the girl's mother. As for the killer, the driver shrugged. No clue, bro. But before leaving, he handed Wang Ming a small package. A white candle and a lighter. Light this whenever you use the stairs. Might just keep you alive. The blood moon still hung in the sky, and Wang Ming had to carry the crate all the way up to the 5th floor. Knowing the ghost lurked somewhere in the stairwell, he lit the candle and carefully placed it on top of the crate. Then, he bolted like a track star. As expected, the ghost's silhouette emerged at the end of the hallway, but it flinched away from the candlelight. Wang Ming couldn't help himself. Holding the candle high, he shouted, by the mighty heavenly dragon, begone! To his surprise, the ghost actually turned and ran. One word popped in his mind. Awesome. But then, he heard a whisper coming from a nearby trash can. I'm almost done, almost fully assembled. His face dropped. The driver's creepy story was real. Slowly, Wang Ming raised the lid, candle trembling in hand. What he saw froze him. It wasn't a body. It was a human skin mask. And not just any skin. He recognized it instantly. It belonged to the busted girl the ghost had taken earlier. No wonder her body had never turned up. She'd been chopped to pieces and stuffed into different trash cans. Wang Ming let out a bitter laugh. I in a place ruled by desire. Maybe death really is mercy. Moments later, Wang Ming arrived at the 5th floor, the top level of the nursing home. Only one room, 501. No name tags, no family info, no assigned caretakers. The sketchiness was off the charts. This room was hiding something. Just as he reached for the doorknob, a cold voice whispered right behind him. What are you doing? The head nurse had appeared like a ghost. Wang Ming nearly jumped out of his skin. In nothing. Just delivering a package, he stammered, placing the box in the hallway. He turned around to collect his reward. But the nurse was no longer human. Her face twisted. Her body morphed. A demon now stood in her place. Forgot to mention, she growled, no one leaves the 5th floor. You traitor. This is why nice guys finish last. Wang Ming yelled, whipping out his ghost ticket. Boom! Her fist came crashing down. He dodged barely. Holy crap, he thought. She's got 20 years of rage in those fists. Even with his ghost powers, she was too strong. The two clashed again, blow for blow, steel on steel. You think you can take me on? The demon nurse sneered. But when she looked again, Wang Ming was gone. Whoosh! He had slide tackled between her legs like a damn stunt double. And then he ran. Nope, not today. Only a fool fights a boss they can't beat. The only way to stop the ghost transformation was to draw the curtains. But when Wang Ming got to the window, there weren't any damn curtains. That's when the head nurse crept up behind him and whispered coldly, I know you tried, but what's the point? You're exhausted, hopeless, trapped. Aren't you ready to give up? She raised her fist to end it once and for all, but Wang Ming suddenly pointed behind her and shouted, What are you all waiting for? Take her down. The nurse instinctively turned around, only to eat a full punch to the face. Smash! Straight into the wall. While she was still eating drywall, Wang Ming bolted, but his ghost ticket had less than 1 minute left. He was running out of time and options. Above him, the nurse had reappeared, clinging to the ceiling like some kind of demonic lizard. There was nowhere left to run. She lunged, teeth bared, death inbound. Wang Ming's eyes snapped to room 501. He kicked the door open with all his strength. Let's see what secret you've been hiding in here. And oh, the nurse shrieked. You can't go in there. Wang Ming smirked, flipped her the bird, and said, Later, loser. Then slam. He shut the door in her face. The moment the door slammed shut, Wang Ming's ghost ticket expired. Gasping for air like a man dragged out of hell, he muttered, I'm done. I'm so done with this. But when he turned around and looked inside room 501, what he saw made his blood run cold. Sitting calmly in the center of the room was another version of the head nurse. She wore a clean white coat with a gentle look in her eyes. Was this who she was before she became a monster? What kind of secret was 501 hiding? Slowly, a scene from the past began to take shape. A long time ago, the woman's mother fell seriously ill. Desperate to save her, she begged, borrowed, and scraped together every cent she could. She asked everyone she knew, and when that wasn't enough, she turned to loan sharks. But no matter what she did, her mother's condition never improved. As time dragged on, it became painfully clear her mother had become a bottomless pit, devouring everything she had. One day, with tears in her eyes, she smothered her mother with her own hands. It was all a recorded memory, playing right there in room 501. And finally, Wang Ming understood the horrible truth. The head nurse was the very same girl the driver spoke of, and the person who killed her own mother was her. Which means the ghost in the hallway, the one piecing herself back together, that was her mother. The woman she murdered, dismembered, and tossed into the trash was her own flesh and blood. Wang Ming couldn't begin to understand. What kind of person could do something like that? But then again, in this world twisted by desire, maybe cruelty and madness are the only things that still make sense. Another night passed, and once again, everyone gathered in the lobby of the nursing home. This time, not a single person was missing. Lu Changgue, relying on his prior experience, stepped forward and said calmly, Everyone, relax. From what I remember, the challenge should be almost over. The head nurse said we each had to care for 3 rooms. That today's the third, our final round. A wave of relief swept over the group. Hope, for the first time, seemed real. But Lu warned, even if you get your wish, you'll always have to pay a price. Wang Ming, however, didn't relax for a second. This was all too smooth, too easy. Just then, the head nurse reappeared, now back in human form after the blood moon faded. In her hands was a sealed box. Time for your final task, she said. Tomorrow morning, the residents' children will arrive to visit. Before they do, you are to inject all the elderly with sedatives. Make sure they stay quiet and obedient. Once the visits are over, your challenge ends. She tossed the task cards to the floor. Then she added coldly, fail, and upset the children, and that'll be an unforgivable offense. Even Liu Changgue, usually composed, when paled, he pulled Wang Ming aside and whispered, "My last game started with nearly 50 people, but only 3 survived." Wang Ming's heart sank. Now he understood. There were too many survivors left in the Desire Realm. Survival was meant to be rare. Tomorrow might not be salvation. It might be the slaughterhouse. At that moment, Wang Ming revealed a crucial clue. Since he was the one who brought in the shipment, he suspected something was seriously wrong with those sedatives. Liu Changgue even joked, "Maybe the head nurse just has a thing for you." But Wang Ming's face turned grim. Only he knew how close he came to death last night, and for what that old man he cared for had said, those injections would kill them. It was obvious now. The trap was in the task. If the elderly died, their children would never forgive them. Those syringes must not be used. The problem was this theory wasn't confirmed. There was no way to be 100% sure. And with the way the head nurse spoke just now, refusing to give the shot might get them killed anyway. With no other options, Wang Ming asked Liu Changgue to share the warning with the rest, a veteran of the Desire Realm. His voice held more weight. Whether or not the others chose to believe it was no longer up to him. Soon, Wang Ming received his next task, room 205. The note taped outside was crystal clear. The resident inside suffers from severe mental illness. He must remain restrained at all times. If not, he may harm himself or others. Under no circumstances should the restraints be removed. Wang Ming entered, and sure enough, found the old man bound up on the bed like a dumpling. The moment the man saw him, he began screaming like a madman. "Untie me! Get these damn things off me! I'm not crazy. I'm normal." Next thing you know, the old man's mouth unhinged and out came a 10-meter-long tongue, whipping through the air as he roared, "You're just like him. You all deserve to die." Wang Ming was ready. He dodged in a flash. And then, in the old man's stunned gaze, Wang Ming actually started untying him. But to his surprise, the man just screamed louder. Wang Ming blinked. "Wait, didn't you ask me to untie you? Was this a trap? Did I mess up again?" The old man charged at him, eyes full of rage. Panicking, Wang Ming fumbled for his spectral bus ticket, ready to throw hands. But then the old guy shrieked, "You're stepping on my tongue." Wang Ming froze, then gave an awkward chuckle as he started shoving the tongue back in. Total misunderstanding, sir. I swear." "You carry on yelling. I'll just step way over here." After a full 3 minutes, the old man finally returned to normal, mumbling over and over, "I really am sane. I'm not crazy, I swear." Wang Ming stood nearby, nodding half-heartedly. "Yeah, totally. You're absolutely fine." The old man glared at him. "Don't patronize me. You're just saying that. Deep down, you still think I'm nuts, don't you?" Wang Ming snapped, pointing at his chest. "Defamation. That's what this is. How could I judge anyone when I don't even have a heart?" The old man frowned. "No heart? What kind of nonsense? Are you the crazy one now?" Without a word, Wang Ming pulled up his shirt, revealing the wide, stitched-up emptiness where a heart should be. "See for yourself." The old man squinted, then leaned in. "Huh, nice zipper design, kid. Pretty stylish." Wang Ming nearly choked. "That's not a zipper, it's stitches." "Stitches." The old man sighed deeply. Tough world for young people these days. Seeing the man was no longer hostile, Wang Ming seized the chance. Flashing a sheepish grin, he added, "Well, since you've seen my stitches, I guess we're friends now, huh?" Without beating around the bush, Wang Ming cut straight to the point. "My dear friend, earlier you shouted that I deserve to die, just like him. Who exactly is this him you're talking about?" The old man's face twisted with fury. "That bastard. I'll kill him. I swear I'll kill him." Wang Ming had already guessed. "You're talking about your son, aren't you?" The old man snapped, eyes bulging, veins throbbing. "Kill him. I'll tear him apart." That monstrous tongue started slithering out again, ready to strike. Wang Ming calmly said, "Your son is already dead." The old man froze, stunned. The room fell eerily silent. Wang Ming knew he was right. His son was the key to breaking through this mess. Slowly, the old man retracted his tongue and muttered, "Dead." "How did he die?" Wang Ming shook his head. "Does it matter? He's gone. Digging into the past won't change a thing." With the old man finally calm, Wang Ming leaned in and asked, "They say even a tiger won't eat its cub. So tell me, why do you hate your son so much? Wasn't he your only child?" Years ago, the old man's wife fell gravely ill. The doctor said there was a good chance to save her, but the surgery would cost 800,000. The old man was ready to sell the house, willing to give up everything to save her life. But his son flat out refused to let him. In the end, that damn house meant more to him than his own mother's life. The old man trembled with rage. And then, to Wang Ming's shock, the old man suddenly burst out laughing. "Huh? That unfilial brat finally died. Serves him right." After venting, the old man's face grew solemn. "Kid, tomorrow's the day, isn't it? The family visitation day." Wang Ming blinked, confused. Why ask about that now? But the old man simply patted his shoulder and smiled. "You're a good kid. Thanks for listening. I think it's time we said goodbye." Turns out, in the old man's memory, every time the visitation day arrived, a brand new set of caregivers would suddenly appear. And as for the residents, a lot of them would mysteriously vanish. Compared to the days before, the place would turn eerily quiet. And just like that, the third blood-soaked night at the nursing home came to an end. At dawn, a wave of sons and daughters arrived, ready to visit their elderly parents. But when they opened the doors, they were greeted by a nightmare. Their parents were all dead. Grief turned to rage in an instant. "You bastards! You're all going to pay for this!" they screamed to the caregivers. The sudden explosion of fury sent the caregivers into a full-blown panic. Within moments, blood-curdling screams and desperate cries for help echoed throughout the hall. Meanwhile, the head nurse stood silently on the upper floor, overlooking the chaos below. Her expression twisted into madness as she whispered, "The slaughter has begun." One by one, the visiting children began to transform, mutating into monsters, demons, and beasts, tearing through the helpless staff. Not even the pregnant woman hiding on the second floor was spared. A twisted creature locked onto her like prey. Just as the monster lunged at her, Wang Ming arrived like a thunderclap, striking the creature down and saving her at the last second. At that moment, Wang Ming had already activated the power of the Wraith ticket. He had only 3 minutes to escape. But now he saw the truth clearly. This wasn't a task. It was a massacre. Inject the drug, you die. Refuse the drug, you die anyway. A complete no-win situation. The pregnant woman, exhausted and staggering, whispered, "Leave me. Don't let me drag you down." But Wang Ming just smirked. "Tough luck. I happen to have a thing for brave pregnant ladies. I'm not leaving you behind." Since there was no running, then fine. He turned around and counterattacked, smashing through the chasing monsters with a devastating punch. In that instant, he felt it. His wraith power was growing stronger, surging through his body. But something was wrong. The power wasn't just growing. It was starting to consume him. If he ended the wraith form now, those monsters would tear him apart in an instant. So that was it. The wraith had been waiting for this exact moment of weakness. But Wang Ming wasn't the type to back down. He grinned darkly. "Let's see who devours who, you or me." Just then, Wang Ming spotted Lu Changui being swarmed by monsters, barely hanging on to life. With his last breath, Lu cried out a shocking revelation. Those lethal injections weren't ordered by the director at all. The words hit Wang Ming like a lightning strike. Everything suddenly clicked into place. If it wasn't the director, then there could only be one answer. It was the children. They wanted their aging parents dead all along, and they used the challengers as convenient scapegoats. But Wang Ming sensed something even darker hiding beneath the surface. This conspiracy was far deeper than it seemed. No time to explain. Grabbing the pregnant woman, he yelled, "Come on, room 203. It's the only chance we've got." The moment they dashed inside, the evil spirit ticket's power faded. His 3-minute time limit had run out. Wang Ming knew The child of the elder from room 203 was hiding among these monsters. So he shouted loudly, "Look at all of this. Because you liked raw meat, he left you a portion every single time. But you didn't even have the guts to visit him once. You left him to rot here alone with that food. The one who failed him isn't me. It's you. The one who wanted him dead wasn't me. It was you, the son he raised with his own hands." Sure enough, a young man stepped out from the crowd and sneered. "Even if what you said is true, so what? He said it was for me, but those things moldy spoiled. How am I supposed to eat that? He even used to hide meat in his pockets. Isn't that disgusting? You tell me, how is that not sickening?" Wang Ming's veins bulged with rage. He was furious beyond words. Without another word, he threw a slip of paper at the young man and snapped, "Read it yourself." It was a note the old man had written for Wang Ming. The young man looked down and froze. Those crooked, shaky words instantly pulled him back to childhood, when raw meat was his absolute favorite. Even as his father grew old and senile, he never forgot that detail. Yet all he got in return was resentment. Wang Ming said quietly, "I don't know how long food stays fresh or how long it lasts before it spoils. But I do know it wasn't rotten when he saved it for you. The only reason it decayed is because you never came. Not once. You never even looked at him." It was in that moment the young man finally woke up, as if struck by lightning. Choking back tears, he looked at the fading figure and said, "Dad, I'm sorry. I've come to take you home." As the words left his lips, the two figures began to fade, drifting upward like ash in the wind. Slowly, they dissolved into a sky full of stars, gone without a trace. It was then that Wang Ming realized what he had overlooked. The mission's name, Twilight in Tears, that IT wasn't just a poetic title. Twilight referred to the elderly, and Twilight should never have to cry. At that moment, the monsters around them all went still, as if salvation had finally come.